some packs. I mean, create some decks with some packs that we were going to open. All right, so we've got 58 packs. Here's our first one. And again, just forewarning that we'll be sort of talking through these as we go. This is not going to be a speed opening exercise. We only have 58 to open. So there's the rare. All right, so let's look at the normals here. Stand Against Darkness, summon 5 1/1 Silverhand recruits. That just sounds way too slow to me. And I don't know, like a control paladin deck, would that really be good in there? Destroy a frozen minion, shatter. I don't know. I don't really. And I've never been a control mage player. I know that's a very popular construct, but I'm not even sure if that would be good in one. Bloodhoof Brave. So this is taunt. I don't think I like that. It's so dependent on getting it enraged just to have decent attack. So that looks like a sub-average card. Okay, so this is a hunter card. Carrion Grub. It's a 2/5 for 3. That's above average. I mean, I think that's pretty decent. Plus, if you are building around beasts in a hunter deck, that's 3 cards that could probably be found in a hunter deck. It probably would be reasonable. And then another neutral here, Scarum Cultist. Oh, sorry, that's our rare. Yeah, Scarum Cultist. Give your Cthulhu +2/2/2 wherever it is. 6 mana for a 7/6, but the only battle cry it has. I don't know. You're really committed to a Cthulhu deck here if that's in your deck. I bet that doesn't make most Cthulhu decks. I mean, I'm just sort of guessing, but so one thing I'm really curious about, and we will continue to open packs here. I just we've only got 2 minions, so we did get the Beckoner of Evil was something that was given to everyone, I think, as you logged in today. We have not been awarded Cthulhu yet, and so I think that's just a glitch. I am hoping that will eventually correct itself, because Cthulhu, the legendary Cthulhu card, was supposed to be just given to everyone, I believe. All right, so pack number 2. All right, so we just got sort of another minimal deck here, just with the rare. All right, so we'll start up here. N'Zoth's First Mate. So warrior card, obviously. Battle Cries equip a 1/3 Rusty Hook. So it's a 1-cost 1/1. Especially if you can buff up the weapon in future turns, this seems like a pretty good card. I mean, you think about all the minions that get played on turn 1 that have 1 health. If you're going second as a warrior, even if you go first to sort of preventive to slow down other decks, but I mean, I think that's a decent card. Here's a neutral Aberrant Berserker, 2/5 enrage +2 attack. You know, that's better than the warrior card we saw, I would say, which was also dependent on enrage. This one's a little better. Yeah, I'd say it's not bad. I mean, I'd say it's average. I don't know how many constructed decks it would really be in, but like in Arena especially, you're not going to be upset about drafting that card. Cult Apothecary. For each enemy minion, restore 2 health to your hero. Okay, so what is the scenario in which this card is really OP or really good? I guess if you're playing against an aggro deck, they have flooded the board. They're playing against a flood deck, really. They flooded the board. Maybe it's middle of the game. You're low on health. You play this. Restores, something like 10 health to your hero. And then you have a way to clear the board or something. I guess that's okay. It doesn't strike me as great, though. I'd say it's below average, probably. Ravaging Ghoul. Battlecry will deal 1 damage to all other minions. So that's your own minions as well. Which actually means this card probably increases in value the fact that it damages your own minions. If you think about warriors, there are lots of ways in which damaging your own minions can be really beneficial. All right, let's check out the rare. Corrupted Seer, battlecry, deal 2 damage to all non-Murloc minions. Obviously, this would be in a Murloc deck. It's a neutral. It's really slow. It would do well against, I guess, aggro decks, flood decks. But except for certain situations, stealing costs 6 mana to do 2 damage across the board just seems really slow. It's like a really expensive consecration that comes with a 2/3 body. But I don't know. I'd have to see the Murloc deck, maybe. But I suspect not. All right, let's keep going. So, third deck we've opened, and another just sort of minimalist. All right, Bog Creeper, a 7/6/8 with taunt. That looks pretty subpar. Faceless Summoner. So for 6 mana, you're getting a 5/6. It's pretty good. I mean, it's below average, but considering the battle cry is going to be summon a random 3-cost minion, I think that's pretty good. I think that card's going to find play. Then that's a fun card. I mean, it may not be. What's up, Leroy Jerkin? Sorry, how you doing? It may not be. What was I going to say? Oh, all these summons, all the summon cards that we've had now the last couple expansions. They may require you to rely on RNG, and I know that gets a lot of criticism, but it sure makes for fun games, right? I mean, it really increases the fun value. This is our second one of these, so we now have 2 N'Zoth's First Mate, Twilight Geomancer. Taunt, give your Cthulhu taunt wherever it is. So 1/4/2. Okay, so I don't really want a 2-cost minion to only have 1 attack. It does have taunt, but a 1 attack card seems weak, and I'm not sure why your Cthulhu needs taunt. I don't know about that card. I'm not sure that's going to find its way. All right, Rallying Blade, Paladin card. Give 1/1 to your minions with Divine Shield. So a minute ago we were talking about that Divine Shield deck that has some potential for Paladins. This is going to play right into that. So that's a good pickup if you're looking to build that way. Okay. So another pretty subpar. This is our third N'Zoth's First Mate. Our second Ravaging Ghoul. So we do have a complete set of both of these cards if we were going to try to make a warrior deck that for some reason would need to have those in them. It's a good card. Helps you just in case your Cthulhu doesn't finish. Okay. So the scenario you're describing is you have low health yourself, and your Cthulhu doesn't quite. I'm assuming in most cases Cthulhu's going to clear the board, unless you're just playing it really early. But it doesn't quite kill your opponent, or doesn't quite kill one really large minion. So now you've put taunt on it, so they have less likelihood of being able to attack your face. So maybe it saves you another turn. Okay, it feels a little situational to me, but maybe it's better than I'm realizing. I'm not always good at predicting these things. Not low health on you, just you need something to slow your enemy down. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. It's amazing how bad I am at predicting I'm talking through things, but I'm not good at predicting what's going to be.
Don't be so rough on yourself.
What's going to end up being good. What's up, buddy?
Not much.
All right, so we also have Darkshire Councilman. After you summon a minion, gain 1 attack. Okay, so this is a Warlock card. I guess this maybe finds a spot in a flood deck. It is not overwhelming, though. This second, let's see. Is this the second Twilight Geomancer, or was this the one I was just talking about? I don't know. Maybe that is the second one. Now I've confused myself. Let's see what the rare is. And it's our second Rallying Blade. So isn't that interesting? Now we've gotten both Rallying Blades. 2 packs in a row. Okay. So Leroy says no one's actually playing that card, but you feel like maybe it's being undervalued. And that may be the case. Opinions will shift as decks prove to play out a little differently than we initially expect. All right, Stormcrack for Shaman. Deal 4 damage to a minion, overload 1. Okay, so obviously the first thing that stands out with this card, you can't go face with it. But 4 damage for 2, that's Eviscerate. I mean, that's pretty good. Overload 1, yeah, it can be awkward, but I think that's a good card. Shadow Strike, deal 5 damage to an undamaged character. So you can go face, but only if they haven't been damaged. Still 5 damage for a rogue to be able to do 5 damage to a minion. That's pretty solid for 3. I think that'll probably see some play. Polluted Hoarder, Death Rattle, draw a card. So you don't draw it until the card dies. I think the other card draw cards are better than that, right? I don't know. I don't know if that's... Why would you play that versus maybe in a Death Rattle deck? There's some potentials from Death Rattle decks now, so maybe that's where Polluted Hoarder gets found. Leroy says Cthulhu decks are super slow and you will likely die waiting for the Cthulhu. Yeah, I don't know. I have done 0 testing with Cthulhu decks, so there's part of me honestly that hopes that is the case, because I'm not wanting to see Cthulhu decks be so strong that that's all you play against in standard mode. So, and I don't think that'll be the case. I think, like you're saying, there's going to be some weaknesses to Cthulhu decks, but I do think, especially like what's going to be the top, maybe Druid Cthulhu. I think the top tier Cthulhu decks are going to be pretty solid though. Hooded Acolyte. We have a priest card. This is going to go with your Cthulhu. Whenever a character is healed, get your Cthulhu +1/+1. 3/6 body for 4 mana is pretty good. Then the text is okay, I guess. Priest Cthulhu. That's going to be interesting. I'm having a hard time imagining what Priest Cthulhu is going to be like, because a lot of it's going to be based on healing, right? And then you come out with this massive Cthulhu. I don't know. Control Priest, I guess. And here's a Warrior card. I think this card has caught a lot of slack, at least in the little bit of coverage I've seen, but Ancient Shieldbearer seems pretty solid to me. If your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, which if you're playing a Cthulhu deck, your Cthulhu has 10 attack and pretty easily. You gain 10 armor, so for Control Warrior or Cthulhu Warrior, that seems really good. I built an anti-Cthulhu deck. I should upload it. Yeah, I would love to look at that. Something in WoW being good and not overused by everyone, unheard of. That's funny. All right, let's go to our next pack. So we've had all of the packs we've opened, which granted there's only been like 6, but they've all just had a rare. And once again, just rare. All right, second Stormcrack. So Shaman, we're starting to put together the beginnings of a Shaman deck. We get Cthulhu's Chosen, 2 of them in the same deck. And this has Divine Shield, so this maybe goes... let's see, it's a 4 and a 4/2 bite. No way this goes on your... Well, let me think about this. Maybe this is an option for Paladin Divine Shield deck. Because basically, like... I mean, you just ignore the Cthulhu part, but a 4/2 for 4, and it's got Divine Shield. That's pretty good, especially if you're not playing a mage or someone that can easily deal with that Divine Shield. And then Mark of Yusharj. Give a minion +2/2. If it's a beast, draw a card. So this is a druid deck, a druid card. If it's a beast, draw a card. 2/2 for 2, plus you're drawing a card. That seems good, right? I would think so. There's enough beasts in druid. I think that's a pretty good card. It looks good to me, at least. All right, let's see what our rare is. Thistle Tea, draw a card, add 2 extra copies of it to your hand. Ooh, it's pricey. Okay, I guess that's good. I'm trying to imagine, like, what kind of rogue deck, what would you want to draw from that? I mean, obviously there's some powerful things that if you had 3 copies of it, that could just win the game for you. But you could also get some cards that would maybe be difficult to want, not necessarily want 3 of them. So, I don't know. That's interesting. All right. How about let's get an epic? At least an epic there. Oh, there we go. So we're going to get an epic in this and a rare. So let's see what our commons are. Our commons. Fiery Bat Hunter card. This seems like a good card. Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to a random enemy minion. It does only have 1 health, but being a beast and only costing 1, I think that's going to get some play in Hunter decks for sure. This is our maybe 3rd Twilight Geomancer. Tentacle of N'Zoth. Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to all minions. So similar to Fiery Bat, but 1 less attack. And it's also got the AoE damage instead of just a damage to one minion. So it's really not that similar. All right, let's see what the rare is. Steward of Darkshire, Paladin card. Whenever you summon a 1 health minion, give it a Divine Shield. Okay, so this potentially complements your Divine Shield deck. Although if you do this, you're building more of an aggressive Divine Shield deck because you're going to be going for these 1 health minions. So, I don't know. Let's see what the epic is. Tentacle replaces Explosive Sheep. Yes, Tentacle does replace Explosive Sheep. That's true. Although Explosive Sheep was what? Deal 2 damage? So, a little bit weaker Explosive Sheep. And half the cost. So, yeah. Alright, here we go. Tentacles, 4 arms. A warrior card. Okay, so it's very pricey for only 2 damage, 2... what do you call it? You only get 2 hits with it. However, the Death Rattle, you return this to your hand. So it's kind of infinite use. It's pricey, though. I don't know. Do you ever really want a 2-attack weapon that's cost 5 mana? Because, I mean, yes, you get it back in your hand, but it's going to cost 5 mana again next time you play it. Maybe. I don't know. I've never even seen that card. Somehow I missed it, so I'll be curious to see what people can do with that. Okay, so we've got another lame deck here, or pack. On the hunt, deal 1 damage, summon a 1/1 Mastiff. Okay, deal 1 damage, summon a 1/1 Mastiff. That doesn't seem great to me. Hunter... yeah, I don't know. Feral Rage. I actually played with this in a normal match I had. One of the Discover cards gave me this card, Feral Rage. Choose one. Give your hero +4 attack or gain 8 armor. Zealous Initiate. Give a random friendly minion +1/+1. So it's a Death Rattle card. And then South Sea Squid Face. So a rogue pirate card. Give your weapon +2 attack. And rogue is by far the class that I have played with the least. Alright, Cult Sorcerer. Spell damage +1. After you cast a spell, give your Cthulhu +1/+1 no matter where it is. That seems really solid. It's 2 mana, it's a 3/2, so it's already a good 2-drop. The spell damage, especially being such a low cost card, that pairs with a lot of different things. That seems pretty good. Let's see. Leroy, which card were you talking about? A 3/2 would have been just as okay. Such a bad card. Trying to think of which one you would be talking about here. Tentacle for arms. Yes, that was the warrior weapon. Yeah, that does seem pretty weak to me. It's just too expensive. Even coming back into your hand, I don't know that you're ever going to get the value. It's just too expensive. Okay, second Tentacle of N'Zoth we've had. Here's a new one, Primal Fusion. It's a shaman card. Give a minion +1/+1 for each of your totems. So if you only have 1 totem, it's not very good. If you have multiple totems, it becomes really good. But if you have multiple totems, you're probably winning anyway. So is this a win more card? Perhaps. There's our second Carrion Grub, which is good. Whoa. Okay, Flame Wreath Faceless 4/7/7, and it only overloads.
Hey, M-Dog.
Yes, sir.
Just calm down there and calm your excitement. A little out of control.
I think this card is a good one to get because I have a feeling this one may get adjusted down the road. That just seems really solid. So that's why I've been hearing people say how much stronger Shaman looks now. That's got to be part of it. 4 mana for a 7/7. All right. And the rare is... Okay, so we were talking earlier about ways to buff your weapon. That is a small buff. If you control a pirate, give your weapon +1/+1. And I think that other card that we were talking about also might have been a pirate card, right? Because it was the 1/1 that gave you a 1/3, and then this would make it a 2/4. Or a 2/3 if you used it on the first swing. So, I don't know. It's already it's a good body. I mean, it's 3 for 3/4, 3/4 for 3, so... I think that'll probably find a play if there's a warrior deck that's not control. Maybe even in control, I don't know. That seems pretty good to me. Alright. Whoa. Faceless Behemoth. That's awful. 10 mana, and it's a 10/10, but nothing. Does nothing. Okay, that seems awful. Twilight Flamecaller, 3 mana, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. What did you say?
That's not very nice. That's awful.
It's pretty awful.
No, it is. That's a pretty shitty, or excuse me, pretty crappy card. 10 mana, you only do 10 damage. Okay, so you cast this powerful beast. You're like, oh, I'm gonna beat you next round. They go sheep.
Yes, yeah, and yeah, and the problem with it is it doesn't have a battle cry effect, or it doesn't. I mean, it's just that's just too much mana. It's too. I mean, you're not gonna, like you're saying, it can be dealt with, and then you spit 10 mana.
This card is untargetable first turn.
Yeah. Yeah, anything would have been good. I'm trying to think about this Flamecaller. Deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. So obviously it's a subpar body. You're spending 3 mana and you're only getting a 2/2. But you're doing 1 damage to all enemy. I just don't know if that's enough to make up for it. Mark of Yasharj was our second one of those. I'd already talked about it. It does seem good. And this is our second Faceless Summoner. So we're actually, our mage cards are kind of starting to come together.
Rule in games like that, if the mana cost is higher than damage defense it has, then it's not worth it.
Yeah, well, you get a baseline. I mean, the baseline is going to be that a 3 mana cost card, an average one, if you add the attack and health, it's going to be 6. And especially as the game moves forward, most of them are at least going to add up to 7 when you add the attack and defense. But that's offset by what else does the card do? Does it draw a card for you? Does it buff another minion? But yeah, you're right. There is sort of a baseline of what you're looking for on the body itself. Alright. Blood to Ichor. Deal 1 damage to a minion. If it survives, summon a 2/2 slime. Warrior card. Alright, what is this like? This seems vaguely familiar. Deal 1 damage to a minion if it survives. Summon. I don't know what this is like. It's like... What's the warrior card that you do 1 damage and you get +2 attack, except you're doing the damage to someone else instead of your own minion in this case. So that could be good. I mean, it's a cheap card. It summons a 2/2 slime, and it seems pretty solid. So there's some warrior cards we've seen that seems to be encouraging warriors to go a little more aggressive. So this deck's weird. It's got two rares in it, but that's it. Okay. New priest card, Power Word Tentacles. Give a minion 2/6. Okay, so they're continuing the Power Word cards for priests. I don't know. I really don't know if that's going to find play or not. Seems really expensive to not have a minion attached to it. This is our 4th Nassau's First Mate and a Darkshire Alchemist. Whoa, that's really good. So it's a 4/5. It only costs 5 mana, plus you're restoring 5 health, and you get to target it. So that's really solid. Our rares, Shadow Word Horror. Another priest card, destroy our minions with 2 or less attack. Oh, that's awful. 4 mana? I mean, that's so dependent on your opponent having... You would want them to have multiple minions with 2 or less attack for that to be worth 4 mana. And then Eater of Secrets, all classes. Destroy all enemy secrets, gain +1/+1 for each. So this, to me, looks like a card that was specifically created because Secret Paladin, right? I guess Mage as well. Freeze Mage and Secret Paladin. It's a 2/4 for 4. It doesn't seem good. Too situational. Too techie. Alright. So we've got an epic. So there's our second Shatter. Our first Amgam Rager, which that's a terrible card. Usher of Souls. Whenever friendly minion dies, give your Cthulhu +1/+1. Wait, what? Is Warlock Cthulhu really going to be a thing? I don't know. This card doesn't seem good. Whenever your friendly minion, it's like you want your friendly minions to die, but all that does for you is it boosts a card that you may not even have in your hand yet. I don't know. Here's our epic. Blood of the Ancient One. This is all classes. If you control 2 of these at the end of your turn, merge them into an Ancient One. Okay, what? So, turn 9, or let's say turn 8 with the coin, you play your first Blood of the Ancient One. If it survives, and you're able then on turn 9 to play your second, then it creates the Ancient One. Which, if I remember correctly, it's like a 30-30? So, but that is way too situational, right? I mean...
30-30?
Yeah. But you've got to spend 18 mana, and the card you play at the end of your first turn has to survive to be there.
You only got 10 mana. How do you do 18 mana? Oh, 10 and 8.
It's got it. No, it's 2 9s. You have to play the two turns in a row. You got to play this 9 mana card. But if you do that and they both survive, then it creates a 30-30. But I mean that's totally just, if you have 2 9/9s that survive, you're gonna win. I mean, it doesn't matter if you need you don't need the 30-30. You're gonna win if 2 9/9s survive for 2 turns. So I don't know. I don't think that card will get played in competitive play. Okay. We have multiple Ravaging Ghouls now. This is our first Bilfin Tidehunter. Alright, so this is a 2 mana, 2/1, and you're going to summon a 1/1 with Taunt. Oh, this looks good. So this is better than the other Murloc because the 1/1 it summons has Taunt. So it sort of protects this one. This is not quite as good against Mage, but against most classes, this is a pretty decent little 2-drop. I don't even know that you have to have a Murloc deck. I mean, you might play this even without a Murloc deck. Have I seen the Ancient One? I think I heard that it's a 30-30. I don't know that I've actually seen the card art. No one's going to play it unless you can lower the cost and faceless it. Hey, good call. I hadn't even thought of that. You got to be able to lower the cost. Faceless copies 1 card. So if there's a mechanic where you can lower the cost of the 9 minion card and then faceless it, then you get the Ancient One on 1 turn. Or facelessing it actually makes it where, I hadn't even thought of that. I mean, that's a good point. You don't actually have to have 2 versions of the Ancient One in your hand. You could just have a faceless. But again, the cost is still prohibitive. So like you're saying, you're going to have to be able to Emperor it or something to get the cost down. All right. The rare is... I don't think I talked about all these cards. The Nerubian Prophet at the start of your turn reduces cards cost by 1. Wait, what? Okay, so it's a terrible card in the sense that it costs 6 mana for a 4/4 body. But for every round, every turn that you have in your hand, it goes down by 1. So if you started in the opening hand, by turn 6, it's a 0 cost 4/4. Or by turn 5, it's a 1 mana cost 4/4. So I guess that's good, but that's kind of slow. Like, you kind of want to be able to play the cards that are in your hand. And if you have to play that on turn 6 because you've top decked it, you're playing a 4/4 minion and you've spent 6 mana, which is awful. So I don't know. Disciple of Cthulhu. Deal 2 damage and give your Cthulhu +2/+2. So this is I'm assuming this will be a key card to the Cthulhu decks because it's removal. It's pretty good removal. It only costs 3 mana and you're doing 2 damage. So it seems okay. Seems pretty good. I think that will find play in Cthulhu decks as you're searching for what kind of removal you want according to which class you're going with. Okay, our 3rd Shatter, our 5th or 6th First Mate. It's our second Bloodhoof Brave. It's still not very good. And our first Spawn of N'Zoth. Death Rattle, give your minions +1/+1. Wait, what? Okay, so it's a very cute little fella. I don't think that's a very good card, though. And our rare is our third Rallying Blade. Well, we're going to get some dust back from these packs. That's the good news. Okay, just another rare. Our second Nerubian. This is our first Squirming Tentacle. So this is an all classes neutral card. It has Taunt. It's always hard though when a 3-cost minion only does 2 attack. But it's okay. I don't know. I don't think it's that good. It's our second Behemoth. This is a Paladin card. A Light in the Darkness. Discover a minion and give it 1/1. I like the Discover a minion mechanic that's so prevalent now in Hearthstone. It's just fun. It's so random and fun. As long as you don't take it too serious.
How do you discover a minion?
It's this new thing where, like, when you play a Discover card, it gives you a random choice of 3 of whatever it is. So, like, some of the Discover cards say, discover a random 1-cost minion. So out of all the 1-cost minions, it'll just randomly select 3 of them, and you get to choose which one you want. So the nice thing about these Discover cards is that they're so flexible. You can respond to different situations you find against your opponent and choose what's going to give you the most advantage. Obviously, you can also get really poor choices, so there's a lot of RNG going on here. Most of the Discover cards have a body associated with them. This is just a spell. There's no actual minion here. But you are giving whatever minion you discover a 1/1. So if you get... now, I guess what I don't know is, are you only discovering Paladin minions? Or is this across the board? It could be any minion. Regardless, whatever it is, it's going to be a slightly stronger version of that minion, but still costs the same amount of mana. Steward of Dark Shadow is our second one of those. So if we wanted to create a weird Paladin deck where we summon a bunch of 1-health minions to give them Divine Shields, we now have 2 of this card. Uh-oh. Hearthstone might have just crashed. It is non-responsive, so let's see what's going on. We're not dropping frames, so I don't think it's anything on our end. Oh, there it is. It's back. Poor Hearthstone. So many people playing it at the same time. Alright. Twisted Worgen is new. Oh, I kind of like that. It's like the current Worgen that's stealthed, but it costs 1 more mana and has 1 more attack. It's kind of fun. So we got a rare, our second Disciple of Cthulhu, and our epic. Okay. I also discovered this card in a match I was playing earlier. You spend all your mana in game 1/1 for each mana spent. So if you play this on turn 3, you're going to end up with a +3/+3. If you play it on turn 10 and you use all your mana on it, it'll be a 10/10. So I guess it's good in the sense that it's flexible. If you're playing a druid deck and you're having a problem like finding you don't have enough fill in the blank mana cost cards, like just don't have enough 3-drops or whatever, now that Shade is gone, then this could fill in a pinch. But that's what really the only thing it has going for it is its flexibility. Other than that, it's not that great. There's a rare, another rare. Councilman, after you summon a minion, gain 1 attack. So this card gains an attack whenever you summon a minion. I don't love it. Bog Creeper we've seen, not very good. Primal Fusion, Shaman card, give a minion +1. We've seen that. It's our second one of those. And our 2 rares. This is our second one of these, and that seems like a really strong mage card. Our first Forlorn Stalker. Hunter card. Its battle cry is give all Death Rattle minions in your hand +1/+1. So this is for the Death Rattle minions that are in your hand. 2 health is not great for a 3-cost minion. But it seems like they're pushing Hunter towards playing a Death Rattle deck, so I guess that could make it interesting. Again, we've got this delay once the pack is opened until it becomes responsive. This is our second one of these Tide Hunters. I still think that looks pretty good. A Duskboar is awful. If it only had charge, it actually would be better if it was a 3/1 with charge, costing 2 mana. Although I guess at that point it's just the same thing as a Wolf Rider, isn't it? Except for a Wolf Rider costs 3 mana. So it would be a really good Wolf Rider. But still, I just don't like it. Anything with one health, unless you're able to protect it behind a taunt or even buff it. I mean, it's just not very good. It is a beef, so I guess a beast. I guess it has that going for it. This is our multiple Twilight Geomancers we've gotten, and our rare is Midnight Drake. So this is a dragon card. We'll see if we think this will fit into any of the dragon decks. So first of all, it's really... Oh, it's the opposite of a Twilight Drake. That's what this is. You gain 1 attack for each other card in your hand, where Twilight Drake you get 1 defense for each other card in your game. So this is, yeah, I think Twilight Drake's gonna end up being better, and will continue to be in Dragon Drake decks, and this probably won't. Second Shadow Strike. Our second Stand Against Darkness. Still doesn't look good. Second Rager still doesn't look good. It's about our 6th or 7th First Mate. And our second Bloodsail Cultist. So I would say so far probably Warrior and Mage are the cards we've seen the most of, but we have yet to get a Legendary, and probably only gotten, what, 3 Epics so far? There's an Epic. There's a Rare. Okay, Golden Common. Very nice, because that'll give us dust to help craft something that we don't get. Twilight Elder, into your turn, give your Cthulhu +1/+1. That's a pretty good card, because it's just in and of itself. It's a 3/4 for 3. Even without the Cthulhu effect, it's pretty good. Feral Rage. I don't like this card. It just may be that I'm not imagining how a Druid works this into a deck, but it doesn't look that good to me. I've already talked about it, but I think Usher of Souls is not a very good card. And I haven't seen what all the Warlock cards look like, but so far I'm not seeing a Warlock Cthulhu as being a tier 1 Cthulhu. We'll see. And this is our second Scarum. Still looks mediocre. And an epic Hunter card, Giant Sandworm. Oh, wow. That's a fun... This is a fun card. I mean, it's so slow, but whenever this attacks and kills a minion, it may attack again. So it's going to get basically like Wind Fury as long as it kills whatever it attacks. I'm assuming that does not roll over. You only get the second attack. If you kill a second minion, you don't get to kill a third one. We'll see, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. All right, let's get down to 35 here, and then I need to get something to drink. Too much talking, not enough drinking. Oh, wow, look at this deck. 2 epics, a rare, and then one of the commons was golden. Aberrant Berserker, our 3rd Carrion Grub. All right, let's check out our rare. A golden rare. Okay, this is the best deck I've ever seen. Servant of Yogg-Saron. Cast a random spell that costs 5 or less. Wow. So random. Another fun mage card, though. So we've gotten 2 goldens out of this. Our 2 epics, Tentacles for Arms, second one, and Eternal Sentinel. Battlecry, unlock your overloaded mana crystals. So play this after you play that 7/7 4 mana card, and it's like you never got overloaded. Unlock your overloaded mana crystals. That's a good card. If you have a lot of overload, that's a really solid card. We've seen all of these multiple times. Okay, this is the first one of these we've seen. This is a Druid card. If your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, gain 5 health. I've seen this card in action, even in the couple of matches I've played already today, and this seems really good. It's at least just been really hard to deal with. Alright, 2 more packs and we'll take a quick break. We'll do our rare first this time. Okay. We've seen all of these. Got On the Hunt twice in that pack. Alright, here's the last one for a break. Oh, okay. It's a good one to break on. This will be our first legendary. First legendary. Okay. The rare is a Doomcaller. Okay. I love that. That's the first legendary we got. So Ragnaros Lightlord seems really solid to me. At the end of your turn, restore health 8 health to a damage friendly character. So it can be yourself, it can be one of your minions, it's random. Just like the old Ragnaros was random, this one is too, but this one's healing instead of attacking. It also can attack, unlike the other one. And I look forward to building a Paladin deck and quickly putting this in there and seeing how it goes. This is really going to gear you towards wanting to play more of a control Paladin, though. Any kind of aggro Paladin, this is too slow, but that looks very cool. All right, and let me take a quick break here. Just going to grab something to drink, be right back. ahoy or something. What's up, Zapkill? How are you? Alright, so there's our first legendary from these packs. If I remember correctly, the first time I played this game, the very first legendary I ever got in a pack was the original Ragnaros. So it's kind of fun that this is the first legendary I got it this time around. We did go a lot of packs without getting a legendary this time. It is what it is. So 2 rares. Second or third one of the, I think at least third, maybe fourth one of those. Second one of those. It's about our 5th shatter now. Ooh, a golden rare. Corrupted Healbot. Death Rattle, restore 8 health to the enemy hero. Oh, that's right. You don't get it till tomorrow. Is that right, Zab? I don't think y'all. I think in Europe it doesn't unlock till tomorrow. That's our 3rd steward. I'm not sure that Corrupted Healbot's going to get much play. That's a lot of health you're restoring, and it's one thing to zombie chow and give someone health, but that's usually early in the game. And it's worth it for board control. But to 5 mana, I don't know. I mean, if you could actually play it on, like, coin it out on turn 4, maybe it's worth it then, because it is hard to deal with. But technically today for you, that's true. It's past midnight in EU, isn't it? I've only gotten 1 legendary, but I've had better luck with getting golden versions of cards. We've had some goldens. Alright, here's our rare. This is Evolved Cabal. This is the first one of these we've seen. That doesn't look very good, though. Our first Bladed Cultist combo is going to gain... So for... I guess you coin it out, it's a 2-3. So 1 cost 2-3, but you've wasted the coin, so that doesn't make sense. When is this going to be good? When is this going to be good? I'm thinking... I mean, bottom line, a 2-3 for 1 mana is good. But it is a little bit restrained because of needing to combo it. Alright. And I still think that this Darkshire Alchemist, this priest card, is really strong. A 4/5 for 5 mana, and you're going to heal for 5. That's really solid. Alright, so we've got 2 rares in this one as well. Second one of these. This is the first horror we've seen. But that's not going to get played, I don't think. 2 rares, second Shield Bearer, and that's the first Twilight Darkmender. See, I'm just not sure. The Priest Cthulhu deck is going to be so control-y. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be a thing, but I'm not sure. I'm not convinced it'll be top tier Cthulhu deck. All right, so we have an epic on this one. Everything else is stuff we've seen except for this. I think this might be our second Squid Face. I think we have seen one of them. And our epic is a crazed... I don't think so. I don't think that's a very good card. Yeah, I like opening packs too. It's very fun. But I don't like spending money on packs. I just like opening the packs they give me. Usher of Souls, Shadow Strike. I don't like Usher of Souls. I think Shadow Strike will get play in rogue decks. We've seen this is I think this is our 10th N'Zoth's first made. We'll see once we're done opening packs, but and we've gotten so many of these. And Shadow Word Horror. Destroy all minions with 2 or less attack. I don't think that's very good. All right. Nothing new. Cards we've seen already. And it's our third or fourth one of those. None of those cards were very good. Well, the rare wasn't very good, actually. I don't know about the others. I just know I've had several of them. All right, so we have a rare. After you cast spell, freeze a random minion. Maybe freeze mage. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be... I don't know how popular that'll be. And then our epic, Forbidden Shaping. Spend all your mana, summon a random minion that costs that much. Oh, that's kind of fun. Again, flexibility. Cards with flexibility can be good. A lot of RNG, obviously, in this, but I think that would be a fun priest card. I think that would be fun to have that in the deck. Infested Tauren. 2/5, basically. I don't know. It's not great. It's okay. We've seen all these. I don't think any of those are that good. And this one is very good, in my opinion. I think this will get played. But I think that's our third or fourth one. Yeah, that does look like a really good card for Priest. I agree. Grotesque Dragonhawk. That's just too expensive. Wind Fury cards... Yeah, unless the meta really changes. I mean, the way Hearthstone tends to work, Wind Fury cards usually aren't very good unless they have charge, right? I mean, it's too unreliable that you're going to be able to protect it. And cheap version of Sheep. Spend all your mana, summon that many 1/1 tentacles. I don't really like those kind of cards. I mean, I guess that's the very definition of like a flexible flood card, but I like this Light in the Darkness. I want to play with it to see. It's a discover card that doesn't have a body on it, but it still seems like it could be pretty fun in a Paladin deck, and that's our second or third one of those. We're seeing a lot of the same cards over and over here. Shadow Word Horror. I like Faceless Summoner, although we already have a couple of those. There's the Alchemist again. Very good priest card. And a Midnight Drake. That's our second one of those. I don't think that will end up getting much play. It's the opposite of Twilight Drake. I could be wrong, but it doesn't seem that solid to me. It'll never have more than 4 health unless you buff it some other way. Another Light in the Darkness card. A couple rares here. That's our second Doomcaller. Undercity Huckster. I think it's our first one. Rogue deck. Rogue card. Add a random class card to your hand from your opponent's class. That seems pretty good. It's only 2 mana. It's a 2/2, and you're going to get a random class card. Yeah, I'd go for that. I have 2,000 gold because I just always complete my quests, and I do well enough in Arena to earn gold, and I don't ever buy packs. I just open the packs I get from Arena. Now, we'll see if that continues, but that's the way I've always done it. So I tend to have lots of gold, very little dust. Alright, same cards. Let's see what our rare is. We've had several of those now. It seems like just as hard as getting the legendaries is getting all the epics. We haven't seen that many epics either. I haven't seen this. Selfless Hero. If you're going to try to go aggro paladin, I guess. The problem with the death rattle cards where it's going to buff something when it dies, unless you're planning on somehow sacrificing it yourself, There's so many cases where your opponent can just wait and kill this card last. I didn't ask from what, but what for? Gotcha. I heard that if you're good, you can go nonstop arena. Yeah, you pretty much can. Although I will say, if I was not supplementing the arena returns I get with finishing quests at least 2 or 3 times a week, then eventually I would run out. I'm not good enough arena to just keep doing arenas, but I have enough like good arena runs to kind of catch back up to 2,000. I've had 2,000 gold for probably a year and a half. I don't know. Somehow I just always end up stay right around that. I think the question is, why don't I ever go buy packs with it? I guess because I just always want to make sure I've got plenty to do another arena, because that's what I've enjoyed the most. And I think if I remember correctly, your experience is the opposite. You haven't done much arena, but you've enjoyed playing constructed a lot, or some. So, all right, so we have an epic and a rare. It's our second one of those. I think that's a pretty good warrior card if you're going. I don't even know what kind of warrior deck, to be honest, but it just seems pretty good to me. And this is our second one of these. I don't think this will ever get played unless, like Leroy Jerkins was saying earlier, unless you have a way to lower the cost of it and then faceless copy it. This Dusk War is awful. Oh. I can't remember if we've gotten one of I think this is our first evolve, and this card looks so good to me. To be able to trade up and then evolve, to trade and then evolve. I just really like that. I think Shaman, this is the expansion for Shaman to come back into the picture a little better. I guess Aggro Shaman's been good for a while, but even more so. I think there's going to be like a mid-range Shaman now. So 3 rares. Haven't seen this Librarian. Let's see what this is. Battle Cry. Discard a random card. Okay. Death Rattle. Draw a card. So this is a Warlock card. Okay, so if you played this card without any cards in your hand, then you're basically getting a 3/2 for 2 and a draw card. So in that case, it's good. I don't like that you're losing a card. I wouldn't want to actually let that happen. And then 2 more rares. Ooh, a golden rare. This is a Paladin card that we've gotten several of. And another Midnight Drake. We've gotten plenty of Goldens. So I guess what people that play a lot do, and I've never even thought of this, but they don't disenchant cards, especially cards, even if they have duplicates, especially cards that they think might get nerfed. Because if they get nerfed, you get a full refund, so it pays to wait. Have we seen this yet? Divine Strength, give a minion +1/+2 for one mana? I don't know. That's our second Fiery Bat, so that's good. I think that's going to be an interesting card for hunters now. Okay. That's our first Shifting Shade. So it's a 4/3 for 4, so it's a little below average to start off with. It copies a card from your opponent's deck and adds it to your hand, though. That's pretty decent. It's interesting. It's probably going to be better in Arena than in Constructed, but... And 2 more of these Divine Strength, another Grub, and I think this is the first Villager. Huh, a 1/1 for 1, and then when it dies it summons a 1/1. That's weird. Infest, give your minions Death Rattle, add a random beast to your hand. And that seems very situational. I mean, in the perfect situation, is that a good card? Yes. But usually cards that require you to get into some sort of perfect situation are not worth it. They're not flexible enough. I don't think Infest will be very good. Okay, all cards we've seen. Draco, you there? Okay. Second one of those. Oh, it's our first Addled Grizzly, a druid card. After you summon a minion, give it a +1/+1. That doesn't seem that good. Swap stats with a friendly minion. Oh, that's interesting. Again, one of those cards where after you've already attacked with something, you could then...
Got to put my microphone on mute. I am so sorry.
That's I actually muted you through Discord, and so I kept checking to see if you were back.
I'm so sorry. My dad's loud.
No worries. I didn't hear any. I actually heard, I think it was you and your girlfriend talking, and that's when I muted it, just so that people in stream wouldn't be hearing it. Ooh, a golden common. Stand against darkness. We'll definitely disenchant that, because I don't... Although the card art's kind of fun. I don't think I'll ever use that card. I could be wrong, but that just looks really slow. Not even good for control, though. Second Librarian. I'm not sure about that Librarian card. Alright, nine packs left. Third one of those. The Hearthstone servers. Two rares. Okay, we've seen those rares multiple times. That might only be our second Selfless Hero. Might be our third, though. I'm not sure. Second Frostcaller. Okay, so we've got a rare and an epic. And a golden tentacle. Squirming tentacle. Whoa, golden epic. Cyclopean horror. So it's only good if you're losing, basically? He's blinking. He blinks. I'll be right back.
That's the offense. Five states primaries. Republican side. All of them. Bruce only came in second. One of them.
All right, 3 decks left. You will have a legendary in the last pack. I like your optimism. That would just be our second legendary. So legendaries are hard to come by so far. There's an epic, a rare. Thank you. Oh, we haven't seen this one. Vile Fin Inquisitor. Your hero power becomes summon. What? Your hero power becomes summon a Murloc. So, Paladin Murloc deck, which, at least in standard play, anything can happen deck has gotten a little busted, right? So, does this make up for it? Just having extra Murlocs on the board? I don't know. It's interesting. Okay. The rare is another Demented Frostcaller, and here comes the last pack. Alright, so the rare is Journey Below. Discover a Death Rattle card. Huh. A 1 mana Discover card. Okay. Interesting. Okay.